Hello everyone and welcome to another video on my channel. My name is Adekola Adebayo and I'm a cloud solution architect at Microsoft. I help customers with succeeding along their Dynamics contact center implementations as well as Copilot Studio. And in this video, we're going to be talking about how to extend the capabilities of voice agents that you build, leveraging Copilot Studio as well as Dynamics Contact Center. The architecture that we're looking at in this particular screen is something that I will talk about in more detail later on, but I thought to start by setting the scene for the demos that you're going to see later on and what we're going to be building out together in this video. A very common Some very common customer service scenarios where customers are calling in to the call center involves things like getting information about the status of things. For example, it could be the status of a case that they've opened, or it could be the status of an order that they've placed, or it could be that customers want to make changes to a particular request that they've previously made, right? A customer may, for example, want to change the appointment date that they've scheduled with the organization, right? So these are some of the most common scenarios where customers are actually calling in to a call center. Now, what usually happens is they would have to call in, wait on the line for so long, hoping that someone's going to respond, right? And this usually leads to poor, service satisfaction. Now, in this video, we're going to see how we can, make our voice agents even more capable than simply reading out some, menus back to the user and asking the user to choose options. How can we make our voice agents more capable in the sense that the voice agent will be able to process simple queries such as finding out the status of something or making changes to records that concern the customer. So appointments, installation dates, and so on. So this video is about how we can set up those types of scenarios. I will now do a demo, actually two demos, and after the demos, we're going to see how you can set up something similar for yourself in Copilot Studio and Dynamics Contact Center. So let's get on with the video, with the demo I meant. So I'm making a call now.
Hello, I'm Ava, an AI agent who can help you with things like finding out the status of your order or changing installation dates for your orders. If I can't help, I'm happy to connect you to a service representative. What can I help you with today?
I would like to check the status of my order, please.
Happy to help you with that. Can you please provide your order ID?
Sure. It's 1002.
I'm now searching for your order. It will be only a moment. Your order of EV wall mount charger for $250 has the status. Payment confirmed and will be delivered on June 26, 2025. Is there something else you need support with? You can say yes or no.
No, that'll be all for now. Thank you.
Would you like to end our conversation? You can say yes or no.
Yes. All right. So that was a demo. And in that demo, we saw how easy it was for me as a customer to find out the status of my order. I don't have to write an email. I don't have to call into the calls. I don't have to wait long on the phone just to get that information. I don't have to open a live chat for that. Just placing a call, a simple phone call. I'm able to interact with a voice agent that can make queries into Dataverse and find information for me. Now that we've seen the demo, I'll go back to talking about the architecture of what we just saw. Now, that interaction all starts with a phone call that comes into a number that um, is handled via ACS, right? So, Azure Communication Services is an Azure offering that allows you to, take advantage of several telephony capabilities, right? You can either buy a phone number from Microsoft, so have a first party phone number from Microsoft, or you can link into ACS using a phone number that you already have, from a third party and have that linked into ACS. Regardless of the option you choose, ACS is the entry point. Now that call comes in to ACS, into a phone number. In this particular case, the number is provisioned from ACS. It's a first party phone number, and behind this phone number has been configured within a channel inside of Dynamics Contact Center, and that channel is a voice channel in Dynamics Contact Center, and that channel is inside of a work stream. In that workstream, we've also configured a Copilot Studio voice agent to be included in the workstream, and this voice agent will be the first to handle any incoming conversations, and that's why the conversation goes straight to the voice agent in Copilot Studio. That voice agent then responds to the customer saying, "Hey, it's me, Ava. I'm an AI agent, and I'm here to help you with any inquiries that you may have." The customer then says something along the lines of, "I'd like to find out the status of my order." And then this voice agent goes off, triggers a Power Automate action, a Power Automate flow, and that flow fetches data from within Dataverse and sends it straight back to the customer. So that is the architecture behind the demo that we've just seen. Now let's see how you can set up this particular solution for yourself. So I'm gonna move this over here and we're going to see how to set up something similar to that. Okay, so let me zoom this in a little so we can see much better. I hope the zoom level is, let's do that one more time. Yeah, this looks much better. All right, so to do what we've just do something similar to what we've done, the basics needs to be in place. You need to have a voice agent in a Copilot Studio that you've configured. And how do you create a voice agent in Copilot Studio? Very easy. All you need to do is make sure that when you're creating the agent, you choose voice as a template for the agent. If you'd like to see more about this, you can look at the very first video on this channel that goes into a lot of detail around how you can create a voice agent. So assuming you already created such an agent, you need to make sure that in the settings, again, more details in my first video, but here in the settings, you want to make sure that you've selected security. Security needs to be authentication, rather needs to be no authentication. Um, then we're going to close out of this. I'm going to, because this is a voice agent template, all of the required plumbing, so to speak, is already there. Telephony as a channel is also already switched on. So if we have a look at this real quick. Okay, this is taking a bit of time. Yeah, so you see, telephony is telephony actually should have been switched on already, but let's turn this on. Doesn't harm in that. So we'll turn this on, and then I'm just going to dive into showing us the topics and sort of how you can set up something similar for yourselves. Okay, so let's give that time to load. Okay, channel was added. I'm going to close out of this, and then I'm going to go into topics. So here you have a couple of oh, actually, my bad. This this was not a the when I created this, I didn't use a voice template, so I'm gonna go back, but it's actually a good way to show you. It's a good chance to show you all sort of what you need to do if you already have an agent that was created without the voice template and you need to make it voice compatible. So all you need to do is go into settings, voice, and then optimize for voice. So this was the setting. So turn this on and save, and then this will expand what your um, agent is able to do to include handling voice scenarios. Okay, so let's so this is all done. And I'm going to go back into topics, and then we're going to yeah, we're going to start working on um going to start working on some of the topics. Okay, so the conversation start topic is an important one. This is the topic that is triggered when a conversation is initiated with the voice agents. Um, so we have that topic here. Um, Actually, here we from here would only be sort of calling other topics, right? Um, we don't have to make any changes here apart from the text that's here. Otherwise, we don't have to make any changes in here. What we'd rather need to do is to create a dedicated topic that would handle queries about orders. Okay, so let's create a blank topic. And then we're going to call this topic, we're going to call it the order status topic. Okay, so I'm going to call that the order status topic. Um, in this case, the trigger, we're going to be changing this from the by agent trigger to something else. So we're going to be calling this, this is actually showing by agents because generative orchestration was, is turned on for this agent. So I'm going to give this a name, order status topic, save. And then we're going to have to turn off generative orchestration just so we can have a more deterministic way of triggering our topic. Yeah, so I'm going to turn this off. And once this is turned off, you will then have your you have full sort of you'll have deterministic control over when which topics are triggered. So I'm gonna go back in here to other status now, and we're gonna see that this is changed already. So now we need to enter the phrases. Okay, so I'm gonna just enter the phrases that I intend to use to trigger my topic. So I'll put in things like order status, check my order, um, track my order is another one. Then where is my order? Oh, I already put this in here. Track my order. Where is my order? It's another one. Let's put that in here. Um, Status of my purchase. So you just put in as many examples as you can, to capture the intent that the user is interested in expressing. So let's do one more delivery status, right? So that will be the trigger, right? And then what's next would be us asking the user for the information about their order, and then we can go off and have a flow trigger to fetch the data. Okay, so let's keep going. Now we're going to the next thing we're going to do is then ask the user a question. So we have an ask a question node here where we're going to say, hey, I can help you with that. Please let me know what your order number is, right? So let's have a go at that. Um, so we're gonna, for the interest of time, I'm going to just copy paste this in here. So this is the speech and DTML variant of the message. that will be played back to the user, and we're asking them for their order ID. We're identifying the entire response, identifying a number from the response that they provide, and we're going to be saving their response as a user ID, right? The next thing we're going to do is we're going to be telling the user that we're searching for their order and tell them, hey, it's going to just take a moment. So we're going to send a message. I have a pre-written message here, which I'm just going to copy and paste in the interest of time. Again, so I'm now searching for your order. It will be only a moment. Now, here is where it gets interesting. So we have the order ID from the user. How do we get the information from Dynamics, right? We're going to add an action. And in this case, it's actually a connector action, but um, I already have that, I already have a flow that I've created for this. So I'm just going to pick up that flow. I'll show the details of the flow shortly, but this flow expects to have um, an order number, right? And we're just going to pass in the order ID variable that we've collected from the user. So it's going to, this flow expects another ID, which is a number input, and it's going to provide us, four outputs. It's going to tell us the status of the order. It's going to tell us the title of the order, the amounts, and the delivery dates. Okay. Now, if you want to see what the flow looks like, in case you want to build something yourself, it will be this here. So you can make the power automate.com, and you can create your own flow from here, or you could directly actually start creating the flow from Copilot Studio, and finish it up in the Power Automate portal. Now I'm going to go to my list of flows, and I'm going to find that flow here. So this is the flow. I'm gonna open it up, and you're gonna see the details here. So edit here, and we're gonna see what the flow definition is like. Um, so this is why it's important for you to actually create a flow from within Copilot Studio. So you do something along these lines here. Add an action, uh, and then you'd want to do search for Dataverse here. Um, Now actually, what you want to do is, um, yeah, you click on add an action. You click on add an action here, and then new action, then new Power Automate flow. So once you click on this, it's going to open the Power Automate portal, and it's going to, you know, include some basic plumbing to bring in input from Copilot Studio into Power Automate and pass back output from Power Automate into Copilot Studio. So these two nodes will already be included in your Power Automate flow if you did what I've just done. Okay. So that's a key advantage of doing it that way. All right, so this is the flow. Let me zoom in here so we can see more. So this is the when an agent calls a flow node, that corresponds to what you see here, which is where the the Microsoft Copilot Studio is actually passing in the order ID, right? And then we're using that order ID to find records on the order table with this filter condition where this field is equal to the order number, right? And then we are initializing the variable of the order status, setting the order status to this particular value, which is where I'm using Power FX here to set the value from the particular field within Dynamics, right? And then at the end we're responding to the copilot by sending back the other status, the other title, other amount, and delivery date. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all of this into um, GitHub repository, and I'm going to include that in the video notes just so you can reference this copilot, reference the Power Automate flow if you need to. use that as a starting point. So that's the flow, and it's going to send back all of these details. And now all we need to do is, send tell the user that, hey, here's the information that you need regarding your order. Okay, so we're going to send a message now and say, yeah. So I'm going to say your order of, so order title, right? That's it. For the amount. Okay, so order amount. So these are all available in the context of this topic as a variable that was populated from the Power Automate flow as the status. Then we're gonna put in the status of the order here, okay, and will be delivered on, one moment, and will be delivered on. Okay, this is will will be delivered on, will be delivered on delivery dates. Yeah. So there we go. There we have the there we have the yeah have the information. Now we're passing. So we're basically passing that back to our user. So we're reading, we're formatting or constructing the message that will be sent back to the user based on the other details that we've gathered from Dataverse. Now let's give that a moment to save, and then we can finalize the last bits of this, which we would like to see within. Um, So finalize the last bits of this, which include doing some configuration on the contact center side. All right, this topic is saved. Let's do a publish. This could take in a non-deterministic amount of time. So I'm going to pause the video and restart once the publishing is completed. Now the Copilot, the agent has finished publishing, and we're going to go to settings now, and yeah, we're going to make sure that we are connecting our agent into, actually we're going to go to channels. So we're going to make sure we're connecting our agent into contact center, right? So that we can see it in there. So I'm just gonna do that now. Um, so go to channels, go to channels, and we're going to, so we're looking for Dynamics 365 customer service on the customer engagement hub. And yeah, click on connect. All right, so I'm just gonna pause the video again, wait for that to complete, and then we'll resume the video. All right, so the connection to customer service or to contact center is successful now, and this means that we've completed what we need to do on the Copilot Studio side. And what I want to do now is or what you want to do now is you go into customer service admin center, and then from there because your work streams, I already have the work stream I need in here, which is this work stream here. There's already also voice channel. So if you need details about configuring the work stream, the voice channel, and all that, you can see the first video. I'll link to it in the video notes as well. Um, but this is the bit we were looking for. So I'm going to delete this voice, this bot that's linked in the work stream, and I'm going to replace it with the agents that we've just set up together. Right. So I'm going to add this here, and you'd see that the voice demo agent was modified 5 minutes ago. Right. So that's the one we're looking for. So I'm going to connect this in here, and once connected, there's a SLA of 15 minutes for changes to propagate for contact center. But within that period, we should be able to have the calls coming in get routed to this new agent that we've just added to the work stream. So let's give that a try now, and see if we're able to get into this particular agent. So this is the agent, and we can see as well. So go to topics. So we'll see this is what we expect the agent to tell us. All right. So hello and thank you for calling voice demo agent. So let me see if we get into this agent. So call now and let's see.
Hello, and thank you for calling Voice Demo Agent. Please note
Right.
that some responses are generated by AI and may require verification for accuracy. How may I help you today?
I'd like to check the status of my order.
Happy to help you with that. Can you please provide your order ID?
Yes, it's 1002.
I'm now searching for your order. It will be only a moment. Your order of EV wall mount charger for $250 has the status payment confirmed and will be delivered on June 26, 2025.
So there you have it. We've seen the full end-to-end demo. We started with the building. I walked us through the architecture of what we built, or what we'll be building, and we've also sort of configured it together. So you've seen how easy that was to do. You create a voice agent, you add a topic, you then add an action. So the key part here really is the action, which is a Power Automate flow that pulls data out of Dataverse, given a particular order number. Now, I mean, if you've been following this, you're probably asking yourself, but anyone can just pick up the phone, and if they know the order number, they can um, get information that they probably shouldn't have access to. Well, that may be the case indeed, but in the next in one of the next videos, I'm going to show how we can secure this voice agent even more by doing things like authentication, and actually validating that the person requesting for the information is the person that should have access to it. So that's one of the things we'll be looking at. We'll be exploring together in one of the coming videos. The immediate next video to this, so I'm trying to make this a series. The next video in this series will be how to create a voice agent, extend your voice agent to not just read information, to not just get information from Dynamics and answer user queries, but also to be able to make changes to data inside of Dynamics, right? So how can you support scenarios where your customers want to make changes to their order, or they want to make changes to appointment dates? How can they do this without a lot of fuzz? How can they do this really easily without waiting for several minutes on the phone just to talk to a human, right? So we'll see how this will be put together in the immediate next video. So if you're not subscribed already, here is your sign to subscribe. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Please let me know what you'd like to see next. Really open to ideas, and really here to just serve and help you all get the most out of contact center and Copilot Studio. Thanks once again for watching to this point. My name remains Adekola, and keen to see you all on the next video. Thanks again. Have a great time.